Hey Travis kiddos, it's second step time. We're going to do some social emotional learning. We're down to our last two lessons of the year, and this is a really good one. This one is about handling name calling. Now, I know we've all experienced something in that realm, so this is great for us to talk about and work on ways to handle that. Okay, so I have a scenario for you, of course. Here is a situation. We have Nikki, okay? She was walking down the hall today. She tripped and fell, dropping her things. Brianna and Tiffany, the girls in the background, they laughed, pointed, and called Nikki a name. Does not sound like very nice behavior, does it? How do you think Nikki is feeling? Maybe she's angry, maybe she's upset or hurt. I think she's probably pretty upset, right? She feels like calling Brianna a name back. Do you think that's a good idea that makes things better? Or do you think that would make her situation worse? Thumbs up for making it better, thumbs down for making it worse. I do not think it would help the situation. I think it would probably make the situation worse. So, do you think Nikki needs to calm down? I think so. Do you remember the calm down steps? If you don't, let's go over them again. If you do, you tell me. So, when you're feeling a strong feeling, you first say stop and name the emotion. So stop. I feel upset. Okay? And sometimes that helps a little bit. If you need to calm down a little bit more, you can put your hands on your belly and do some belly breathing. Calm the body, get some oxygen to the brain so that you can think clearly to make a good choice in this situation. If you're still struggling, you can try counting while you're doing belly breaths or just counting. You can get some help from an adult. So let's assume that Nikki was able to calm down by telling herself to stop. She feels angry and maybe taking a quick breath. Okay? So after Nikki is calm, she can now solve her problem because she's thinking clearly. What is the first step in solving problems? Do you remember? We have those 4 steps for solving problems. First one starts with S, second with T, third with E, fourth with P. It spells out step. So the first step in solving a problem is kind of like the first step in calming down. You have to say the problem. So instead of saying the feeling, you're going to say the problem. So here, the problem is that Nikki was called a name and it hurt her feelings. She's upset. Okay, that's the problem. T, she needs to think of solutions. So what are some things that Nikki could do? Nikki could call Brianna a name back. She could try to ignore it. She could tell Brianna and Tiffany to stop, assertively tell them to stop. She could go get an adult for help. Okay, so at least a few different options. So when you think of the solutions, then you do step E, explore consequences. So let's think about which option, or maybe even more options, what would happen if she tried each of those? And then when we think of what could happen, we might be able to do the 4th step, pick a solution, the best one for the problem, okay? So if Nikki calls the other girls a name, what could happen? I think that she could get in trouble for calling them a name. She might actually feel worse herself. When you sometimes call someone else a name, even when you're angry and maybe feel like you want to get back at them, sometimes that makes you hurt too. So those are some of the consequences that could happen, and maybe the girls just keep calling her names back. I don't know. Okay, some potential consequences there. If Nikki tells the other girls in a soft, quiet voice to stop calling her names, what could happen? They might not listen to her if she's not assertive. If she tries it in an assertive voice, a clear, calm, little bit louder voice, if she tells them to stop calling her names, what might happen? They might stop, right? And if she ignores them, what might happen? They might stop, or they might continue. I don't know. Let's see what Nikki does. So Nikki decides to ignore Brianna and Tiffany. So ignoring means that you don't pay attention to them. You pay attention to something else. You walk away, pretend you're doing something else, pretend like it didn't even happen, right? So Nikki stands up, picks up her things, and walks down the hall, ignoring the other girls. It works. They don't say anything else. So problem solved. Good job, Nikki, for picking something that worked. So she didn't have to react back. She didn't have to say anything. She didn't have to go get help. She did pretty well there, huh? But what if we pretend that ignoring them didn't work and that Brianna and Tiffany keep calling Nikki names? Then what do you think Nikki could try? So Nikki could say something in an assertive way to Brianna and Tiffany. So she could say, I don't like being called maiden names. I need you to stop. Okay? So she could say it in an assertive way, but calm. She's not yelling it at them. She's not saying, I don't like being called names. I need you to stop. Ooh, that's pretty angry, right? And she doesn't say it in a whiny way. She doesn't say, I don't like being called names. I need you to stop. That might not make the girls stop and doesn't quite get the point across clearly. So saying it in a calm, because she already calmed herself down, a calm, assertive way. I don't like being called mean names. I need you to stop. Okay? So she keeps it respectful. And Brianna and Tiffany stop calling Nikki names. Sometimes it doesn't work to ignore someone or to tell someone to stop in an assertive way. In those cases, Nikki could go find an adult to help her. So if you've already tried some of your problem-solving skills, you've tried ignoring, you've tried speaking up for yourself, saying something in an assertive way, you've tried something else that might work too, you've tried maybe some of the fair playing and fair sharing skills. So we tried those were taking turns, sharing, or trading, right? If none of that works, you can always go get an adult, right? So I want you to think of 2 adults at school or at home that you could ask for help. Do you have some people in mind? Hopefully you're able to come up with 2 or more people that you trust to help you solve problems like this, okay? So in the cases when you can't help yourself, you can always seek out help from adults, okay? So, mean name calling hurts other people's feelings. Today, you learned that if you are called a mean name, you have some options of things you can do. You can ignore. You can assertively speak up for yourself. Or you can go get help from an adult. Okay? Or even another kid sometimes can help. But adults are here to help you, and we're happy to help you solve your problems. So the next time someone calls you a mean name, try out one of those options. You can always go through the problem-solving steps to see which you think would work best for that scenario. So would it be best to ignore? Would it be best to be assertive? Or would it be best to go get help from someone else? You can practice and make those decisions in the moment for what works best for you. Happy learning!